John 16:28. I came forth from the Father, and am come into the world. Again, I leave the world, and go to the Father. If Jesus was just a prophet, just a man, just a created being like all others, then why did he say this? I came forth from the Father, and am come into the world. Again, I leave the world and go to the Father. Not created by the Father, not sent as merely a messenger. He says, I came forth from the Father, originating in eternity, not time. You don't come forth from someone unless you already exist. You don't go back to where you never were. Let that sink in. This is not poetic metaphor. This is Jesus stating his divine origin and eternal destination in a single sentence. No prophet ever said such a thing. Abraham didn't say it. Moses never claimed it. David never dared. Even Muhammad, whom imams elevate as the final prophet, never once claimed he came from God's side and was returning to God's throne. But Jesus did. So who is lying? Jesus, or those who say he was only a man? Because the claim here is crystal clear. Jesus is not from this world. He is not from below. He is not one of us trying to ascend upward. He descended voluntarily. He left glory and came into dust. Then he said plainly, I go back. Pastors, if you claim to preach Christ and yet deny his divine pre-existence, you are not preaching the Jesus of the Bible. You are preaching an idol in his name. Imams, if you teach Jesus was only a prophet, then you must call him a blasphemer too. For what man has the right to say he came from God and is returning to God if he is not divine? Priests, if you elevate tradition above truth and bow before images while denying the eternal word, you are leading souls to ruin. Skeptics, you demand evidence. What clearer evidence is there than the words of Christ himself, preserved in the gospel, you mock, yet cannot disprove? He didn't say he was born and discovered God. He didn't say he reached enlightenment or had visions. He said he came forth from the Father. He declared his heavenly passport, then proved it by returning after the resurrection. Let's break it down. I came forth from the Father. Origin, heaven, eternity. The side of God. Not the womb alone, but before the womb. And am come into the world. Incarnation. He stepped into time, into human flesh. Emmanuel, God with us. Again, I leave the world. Departure. His mission complete, his sacrifice fulfilled. And go to the Father. Return. Not just death, but ascension. Not just rest, but reunion. He didn't say, I hope to be accepted by God. He said, he's going to the Father. That is a statement of ownership, of equality, of divinity. Now, you have to decide, was he lying? Was he deluded? Or was he exactly who he said he was? The early church died for this truth. They didn't go to their deaths defending a metaphor. They were torn by lions, crucified upside down, burned alive because they believed this, that Jesus Christ came from the Father into the world and returned to the Father, not as a servant only, but as the Son of God, equal with the Father, eternal in glory. You can't stay neutral anymore. The verse won't let you. Either Jesus is the eternal Son who came down from heaven and returned to glory, or he is a fraud worse than any cult leader. But the tomb is empty. The throne is occupied. And he will return again, not to plead, but to judge. Will you be ready to meet the one who came forth from the Father? Prove him wrong if you can. But be warned, denying him won't change where he came from, or where you're going.